What is up, Dream Team? So a day 165 of doing 5 push-ups. Just kidding. What is up, Dream Team? So, what is up, Dream Team? So another day of 100 push-ups. I am extremely tired, but I have this weird belief, right? That if I really am one with everything, then the same energy that brings up the sun, or I guess the same energy that is the sun. Fucking A, I gotta start that again. What is up, Dream Team? So I am extremely tired. Just got out of work. Been working all day. It is 8 o'clock at night, and I've been at it since, I don't know, 9 or something. Anyways, I am extremely tired. But if my little theory that I am everything and everything is me, right, and we are all one, then that means that the same energy that the sun has, I have. So I'm gonna use that energy, and I will do 2,000 push-ups. Anyways, I do it for you. Let's get it.
First business, I remember signing the lease and having my heart drop because this really exciting thing that was once my dream all of a sudden became a reality, and then I was terrified because I realized that I had no idea how to get customers. And this reality set in for a while because I was told I should run a Groupon to get customers, and I ran a Groupon and no Groupons were purchased. And all of a sudden I knew I had $5,000 a month that was coming out, and I only had $5,000 saved up total, and I was in a new area, and I knew no one, and I had 0 customers to start with, and my business was going to, quote, open in 2 weeks. And so this was a point of panic for me. And then luckily, a friend of mine said, hey, we should go to this marketing conference. And at this marketing conference, I went there, and I had no idea what I was doing. Everybody there was a business owner. It was a $3,000 marketing event workshop. And they promised that I would make $10,000 by the end of the weekend, and I really needed to make $10,000. I'll give you the long story short. I didn't make $10,000, but I did learn about this thing called Facebook ads, and that was ultimately how I got my first 29 clients at my brick and mortar facility way back when, almost a decade ago. And since then, we've learned a lot of different ways to get customers. And so over the last year, we spent $1 million plus honestly, we spent a lot more than that. But for the purpose of this video, I'll say $1 million. I think we probably spent like $4 or $5 million year to date. But I think $1 million is a nice round number for my YouTube headline. The thing is that the vast majority of the customers that I have don't actually come from paid advertising. Crazy, right? And so what's interesting is that as I've looked at my businesses that I've aged as an entrepreneur or become more experienced, I'll put it that way, I've diversified how I get my customers. And one of the interesting things that's happened is that when I started this game, I was the paid advertising guy. That was how I got in. I was like, forget everything else. Paid ads is the way to go. It is the truth. It is everything, right? But what's happened is that over time, my perspective on this has dramatically shifted. And part of that is because I have realized that I think there's a lot more of a it depends type of answer for it. So if you are looking at the largest companies that are out there, the vast majority of them, with the exception of consumer products, are not based on paid advertising. Like if you're a consumer products company, if you sell widgets or you sell Gatorade, whatever it is, the vast majority of the revenue comes from paid advertising and media. And you really just become a media company with a product that you can push and sell on a large scale. But most people, or a lot of the people that I work with, sell B2B and sell in different ways that are not that type of product. And so when I look at the biggest companies that are not consumer goods, the vast majority of them are not driven by direct response paid advertising. But if you look at Salesforce, right, which is a CRM for businesses, they're not based, they didn't grow based on ads. They grew based on a number of other things. A lot of them is word of mouth, right? A lot of them is outbound, right? And so what I want to do today is walk you through the different ways that we get customers and the different categories that exist and how you can think through it. And this is going to be a repeated theme because this is the framework. This is probably one of, if not the most important framework that I use when I'm looking at scaling a company. One of our companies in acquisition.com. So when we take on businesses, which are usually like 3 to 10 million, we invest in them and then we scale them. This is one of the first frameworks that I look at in figuring out, is the traffic channel that they're using the best one long term? Are there short and easy wins that we can do immediately to get or double or triple, quadruple the amount of customers they have? And all of that kind of cool stuff, all right? So the first one here is the first thing I talked about, right, is paid ads. All right, and the reason that this is interesting is that this is one that a lot of people talk about. It is the fast money way because you can turn them on and immediately start getting business. The difficulty that I have found is that at large scale, especially in B2B or B2B2C businesses, it can become more challenging, especially in niches. And that is because you can burn through an entire marketplace very, very quickly with paid ads, and you have to learn how to scale outside of that. All right. So paid ads covers any kind of advertising that you have to pay a platform for. So you'll notice the left column is all going to be about platforms, and the right column is all going to be about people. All right. Actually, I'll save that. I'll tell you what it's going to be in a second. All right. So 1, paid ads. 2,
50, baby.
And this one is one that is what I'm doing right now. Right. This is earned media. All right. So this is media that a platform will give me for free to distribute, valuable stuff. Right, so I'm getting these impressions for free, and so that is earned media. Now this takes a long time to do. You have to be good. People have to find your stuff interesting, all of that kind of stuff. But it is definitely a way to build a business. Look at Kylie Jenner. She's like, hey, I've got 100 million followers. I said, hey, buy my $29 lip kit, and boom, she makes $25 million a month. Crazy, right? Now, that being said, the best way to do that is to pick Kris Jenner as your mother when you're being born. I'm kidding. Lots of respect for what you guys have done if you ever watched this video. But besides that, earned media is not the fastest way, but it is a way of building something that can become the base or foundation for getting new customers. The third way is through owned media, all right? Now, owned media is all the contacts that you have and have already given you permission to contact them, all right? So this is all the people in your CRM, this is all the people in your cell phone, this is all the people in your contacts list that you've collected over the years. All of those people have already given you permission to contact them. Do you know who else is in that list? Wait for it. Every single person that you're connected with on social media. So all the friends, all the followers, all the friends you have on Facebook, all the followers on Instagram, those are all people who've actually given you permission to contact them without any opt-in form. You can directly message someone on Instagram. You can directly message someone who's a friend of yours on Facebook without any kind of filters.
65.
And so it's funny because I have entrepreneurs who reach out to me and they're like, hey man, I don't know how to get my first customers. I'm like, dude, you've got 2,000 friends on Facebook and you've got 2,000 followers. I'm like, you got 4,000 leads right there. And you haven't even reached out to them. And they're free, and they're literally right there, and they already kind of know, like, and trust you. Huh, interesting. I got a buddy of mine who does $1 million a month just off this one platform. That's all he does. These are the three that are based on platforms. So you've got paid media, you got earned media, and you got owned media, all right? Now, the second category of ways that I look at when I'm scaling the businesses that we take on, that we invest in, is manual outbound. So this is cold calls, cold emails, cold DMs. If you're in an industry that allows it, cold texts, which is not a lot of them, but some of them are allowed. All of those things are things that you have a person who is reaching out to people who have not given you permission to contact them, and you're reaching out to them as basically interruption-based advertisements. You're one-on-one manually scaling something. What's interesting and fascinating about this, and I'm going to save the sixth one for last because I think it's the most powerful, and what you'll notice in all of these is that they are all linear, meaning for every input, you have usually an equal or proportional output. So you might get 3 to 1, so you put 1 in, you get 3 out. You put 1 in, you get 3 out. And whether you put 100 in or you put 3,000 in, you're still going to get that same ratio out. All right. One of these compounds. The rest are linear. All right. So first one, paid, earned, owned, and then manual outbound. All right. This is so for us as I've transitioned, as I've aged, I've moved from this column, this side over here, to this column over here. All right. So number 5 is affiliates. So these are all the people who already have pulled together all of your dream customers. All the customers, your customer avatars are already existing in one place. They belong to associations, they're in Facebook groups, they're on mailing lists, they're all pulled somewhere. And if they're not pulled somewhere, then you probably should reconsider what type of business you have. But most of your dream avatars are somewhere. And so the idea with affiliates is to go find someone and create a win-win situation where they can refer you business and you can pay them or compensate them in some way, right? And the key to making this work, and this is where most people mess up, and this beautiful thing about affiliates is that it works at every level, right? If I've got a dry cleaning store, right, I'm going to look at the other places
that's 100
with that already have my ideal customers.
Squat?
So probably lots of fancy stores that sell fancy clothing.
Squat time.
Those would probably be the places that I would look at trying to make affiliate relationships with for their customers. To me. But the key is not to just drop your business cards at the front desk or figuratively do that, even in an online setting, and just say, hey, can you refer me business? And they're like, sure, and they just toss your cards as soon as you leave the door, right? Instead, it's about having full integration partners. All right, and the way that works is you have to walk them through what their customer experience looks like. So after they buy at the counter, what I need you to do is I need you to put this in and staple it to the top of their bag and say, hey, these 3 magic words. And as a result, I'm going to be able to pay you for every single person that X, Y, and Z is for me, right?
You didn't do that.
And so you have to do a full integration. This is where everyone messes this up.
Okay.
All right. So 2 of the companies that I have. So right now, affiliates are responsible across 2 different entities that I have for $2.5 million a month.
3.
Just of the revenue that we do. So 85 million, 2.5 million a month comes from affiliates.
5.
All right. It's a huge opportunity.
6.
The beautiful thing here too is that it's free. Right?
7.
The only cost of affiliates is just the cost of acquiring the affiliate.
8.
And in a second, I'm going to show you how all these things work together. All right. But for right now, I just wanted to link
10.
So an affiliate. So for us, we have our huge distribution base of brick and mortar facilities. They are our affiliates for the supplements, right? I also worked with affiliates on our software to get agencies, right? So that we could work their leads for them.
You guys can't see me, but I'll do it right here.
We're integrated into their customer base, customer life cycle. And the reason that you do this,
All
the
right.
reason they would do it, is that you have to find a way to enhance their value proposition. So for example, if I was trying to get that fancy clothing company, right, to get my dry cleaning store, then I would tell them, hey, for any person who buys your thing, I will give them a free dry cleaning of the thing they just bought if they bring it to my store. Now, all of a sudden, that business has a superior value proposition that they can offer to their clothing customers from the guy down the street. They're like, wow, this place is crazy. They even have negotiated a relationship with another vendor to take care of me. It's the next natural need I'm going to have. And if I were also a dry cleaner, I'd probably negotiate with a tailor who can custom fit stuff and make adjustments on clothing. Right? We got to think like this.
3.
And so if we do that and we get that full integration,
4.
now it's valuable to their customers.
5.
They get perceived as more valuable. And then on top of that, you can pay them for every person who redeems it. Right?
7.
Now all of a sudden you're adding more gross profit to their business. They have a superior value proposition, all by working with
9.
you. You've now made it a win for them and cost
10.
them nothing. And for you, you have
That's
no risk.
40.
You don't have to pay a platform. You're paying another business. And the thing is that's just one affiliate. Imagine having 200 of those clothing stores pushing towards your dry cleaning, right? That's the game. All right. So that's affiliates. And the 6th way here is the most powerful. All right. Can anyone guess what it is?
2.
It's referrals.
3.
Word of mouth. That's what that is.
4.
Every one of these other ones
5.
are linear in that, there's
6.
X input and X output that's going to happen. There might be
7.
some, 1 to 3, 1 to 10,
8.
whatever it is, but that ratio is fixed.
9.
The crazy thing is that with referrals,
10.
one person can become the
That's
beginning
50,
of the
baby.
entire business. One person tells 2 people, 2 people tell 4 people, 4 people tell 8 people.
No, it's kind of interesting like that, but that's kind of what I did when he said one business can tell another person. I literally have one business that refers me to tons of people. So anyways, Dream Team, I love you. I do it for you. I do it for me. I do it for we the people.